going, everybody? We are getting ready to see it snow this weekend. We're going to put the blade on this tractor. I got to get the weights off of it. We're going to put a set of tire chains on the 9410. Everybody's running around uncovering bunks now so that we haven't got to deal with that next week if we end up getting 2 foot of snow like they're saying. So we're going to pull the weights off of this quick, then we're going to run down and throw the Degelman blade onto this tractor quick. Alright, we got those off. These guys are going to clean out from underneath the barn 5, which is right over there. They're fueling the spreader, and then they're going to fuel that skid steer. So they're going to move out the rest of the sand that's underneath the barns. That'll be the last barn that they need to do. And yeah. I came down here ahead of time. I brought the floor jack down, and it was sitting on blocks right there. I jacked up the center, got it close enough so that that saddle on the blade could clip onto, it clips onto the bracket here that's bolted to the frame of the tractor. I got that just high enough with a jack so that it would meet that. I took my hoses and I stretched out my hoses. I laid them on the ground so that they would come out through the back side of the tractor. I rolled in underneath, threw the hoses up over the axle, plugged them in. Now, these hoses are shot. We're going to actually put 4 brand new hoses on this. The rubber coating is gone off of them. That one's actually leaking right there. So we just got to set the center pin in now. Now this blade we had on an 8000 series tractor. At one time we had an 8300, and this bracket here, you can't see it because it's all covered in mud, but this bracket that hooks to the back of the blade is bolted right to the front of the transmission. Now, on when we went to the 8320, these brackets are all the same, where they bolt to the engine block and the frame of the tractor. They were the same from the 8000 to the 8320. However, this transmission on the 8320 is larger than the transmission on the 8300, so this transmission came ahead 3 inches farther. So what I did to the bracket up front there is I just laid another piece of flat bar in there for the blade to clip onto. Now, at one time, this had this goofy handle that would lock this blade on. It never worked the way it was supposed to. So I ended up making up this bolt with a V-shaped bushing on there, which the bushing is shot and probably should make up a new one. This just goes down through, jack the nuts together, and that keeps that. Oh, it's shaped like this. So we're just putting the, let's see if I can set that camera here. We're just putting that bolt in like that to lock this blade onto that pin. So we'll go ahead, we'll get this bolt in there, we'll pull it up to the shop, yank all these hoses off, put put all brand new ones on it, and this will be ready to plow snow. Hopefully we don't need it. We do have the 9410, a couple of payloaders, telehandlers, skid steers, all that happy jazz, but we do run into occasion once in a while where you blow a hose or something on a machine and you're down one. It's nice to have a backup. So that's what this is going to be. This is going to be a backup unit. So, but just try to get some mud off of here. But with that being said, we'll get this up to the shop and get some hoses on it. We've got the 8320 and blade in the shop. We're going to drop them hoses off, pull them all off in there, start making some new ones. The boys are cleaning out from underneath barn 5 now. I'm going to run down the road, grab the floor jack, check on them, and we'll get back in the shop here and get on them hoses, get them done, and get that tractor out. Windows need to be washed up a little bit. It's got a lot of mud on them from oh, that was on the spreader. Then we had put it on the chisel plow to do damage control, and the windows are still real dirty. So yeah, there goes Jared right there with he's got a sandy load on there. These guys have just started on this pit here. They've actually started loading this one with the skid steer, which that's how much sand is in this pit here, just out in this outside storage part. Now they're going to get that loaded up, so when they back the spreader and they've got a larger area to get in and out of the tunnel that goes underneath the barn. Now this one has the same tunnel that goes underneath the barn that the other barns have. This goes all the way across the width of that barn, which is, we call that barn 5. This is like a 60 by 60 storage area here. And there's about enough storage out here for 4 or 5 days. There's the manure pump there. Now that pump, we can either load trucks from it, or we can hook up this hose and send manure right to the lagoon. We just hook this hose up to the pump there. Yeah, down the shop, looking at them hoses. I could hear it when he went by. Heard a clunking noise, so this wheel weight's loose right here, and I wonder if he's got a broken bolt somewhere. Hey, stop down in the shop. You got a loose wheel weight on this side. I'll help you get it tight. Alright? Alright, so he's going to pull out of the shop, tighten them. I could hear it clunking when he went by the shop. He's on his way down now. You can almost hear it. Yeah, go. Hear it? You can hear it clunking. I'll put you guys right here. Washers on there. Alright, there's that. That one's tight. Now we're going to jump over to the other side. it was loose.
Okay.
So
You want to do the bottom one?
I did that one.
Next one in front?
No, they're already done.
Oh, okay.
So I'll walk beside it and listen, and then we'll pull back up and we'll blow these tires up.
All set with all these then, Andy?
I think so. Alright, we got that. I don't hear any clunking. He's going to come around and get some air in them tires. They probably don't need much, but he's got a lot of weight in that spreader, and they look like they're squishing down a little bit. So, alright, to make this job go easier, we're going to take the hoses off, or the blade right off the tractor in order to get the hoses on. Okay. Alright, we've got the blade off the tractor, and Jason's actually building the hose now. He's making the hoses up, and he's going to get them on there. James is cleaning all the mud off the tractor. I don't know if I can get him to wash that today or not, but more than likely probably not. So Nate and I are going to put chains on the 9410, and when we get them chains on, we're going to pull that PTO gearbox off of this auger, put the motor back on it, and get this ready to use up at the silo there. So we're going to head up and get chains on 9410. Alright, we have chains that we made for the 9320, and we got them sitting on this trailer here. We use them for when the fields get real slippery. We can put chains on for spread manure. So we're going to go ahead and put a set of chains just on the rear of this tractor, just to give it some added traction for plowing snow. Yeah, got a load of bedding sand coming in right now. I'll run down and get the tool. Yeah, I got the chains on that tractor. These guys are just getting in underneath the barn now. So yeah, they got the outside area here already cleaned up, and they're just starting to go under the barn. Yeah, Jason's making his last hose end up here. Just pushed his end on there. Now he's pushing it up through the collet, getting her set into place, putting the spacer ring over the top, pushing it back into the crimper itself, and then he's just going to hit the toggle. Don't be afraid to hold that right down for a second or two, Jay.
Okay.
Longer. You're going to grab the other end here for him.
Nice.
Putting a little lube on there.
Sliding good.
Don't want to take it in dry. Again, you're going to push it up through his collet. There's a different size collet here for each size hose. He's using 3/8 hose here. And you're going to put his spacer ring on the top. Again, he's going to push it into the back of the crimper. Yep. And he's all set. Now this is his last hose for the blade, and that blade will have all brand new hoses on it. So makes for a good job to have done. Well, we got our chains on, and James ain't screwing around. He's actually getting the wash in here. I told him just to knock the mud off, but he's deciding to do a better job of just washing. Alright, Jay is got his hoses all on here. He's just putting some protective stuff on here now. So gonna get that done. Nate and I are working on this auger. We're gonna put the motor back on it. Yeah, that ain't bad. You can go up a little higher. No, I don't think it's hitting. No, that ain't hitting. That's probably good. Nate's gonna get this end off. Just take these bolts, loosen them up, so we can pull this end right off in there. And then we'll put the other end on it. And I'll get this gearbox off in there so we can get the motor on there. Alright, when we switch this over to put this gearbox on, the gearbox was mounted up here with the electrical motor on it. And we could put it down here. We could put the motor right here. It's just going to make the auger heavy. So you put it up here, it's not as heavy because it's getting it closer to the wheels. We couldn't get this shaft, this coupler here off of this shaft. So that's why I cut it. I cut it up there because this was up here. I cut it there. This is where the shaft went through this bearing. That's how much wear it's got on there. I could not get this coupler loose. So I let it alone. I put a little bit of heat on there, but I didn't want to get into this gearbox. So I let it alone. We put a lot of heat in that. I think you remember that. Don't you remember when we switched this that one Saturday? We leveled the silo off?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So we put a lot of heat in that, and then we left it alone, put it together the way we did. And one day when we were unloading corn, I seen that there was a lot of rust coming out of this coupler, and now it wants to come off that shaft. So I think this is going to slide right off of there, Nate. Other than maybe we're a little tight here yet. Yeah, we're a little tight. Loosen that one nut off back there. Okay, so we have that apart now. Now this is this slide. Take that off, set it on the floor. We got to turn our gearbox around, and so we're gonna cut this right about here, and we're just gonna put another coupler back on it to put the keyed shaft on to get the motor and gearbox to mount right here. Alright, so we got our shaft cleaned up there. We got a collar ready to weld onto that so that we can get this shaft down to about here where it's going to go into the gearbox and whatnot. Then down here we've got our other end to this auger put on there. We end up putting a sleeve down onto here, and the silo chute ends up coming right down into here. We've got our hopper extension off in there, and then I've got our other spout on there. So Nate's going to start tightening his coupler up here, and we're going to continue to work on that. Jason's got his hoses about done, and James has washed the 8320. Now he's vacuuming it out. Alright, so we got this shaft cut. We've got a collar here that we're going to push up onto here 2 inches because we're 4 inches long. And then we're going to mate the two together like that and weld it.
Mind if I call it Napa quick?
Okay, we're just going to weld that coupler together so that the gearbox and motor can be put on down here. Okay, now, alright, we've got the gearbox in place. We're going to bolt our clamp on that. Sarge is done cleaning underneath the barn. He's got his skid steer washed. I got Fitz and John putting flashers in. Jason's got his hoses on, and he's waiting for them to get done with that tractor, and they're going to mount that blade. Alright, gearbox is in place. Nate's going to tighten them down. Go ahead, Nate. Alright, we're just going to tighten the motor up to get these belts tight. And we're going to see if we got that pulley in line. You got her, Nate. Alright, this job here is done. We're just going to pick up our tools and pull the auger out of here. They're cleaning up the floor on that side. And that's going to about wrap things up here. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Jason's got the hoses on, all new hoses on this blade. James ran around this tractor quickly with a pressure washer, did the best he could with the temperature that it was outside. Yeah, they ended up putting some flasher bulbs in the top of the cab, and we need a new lens assembly for that arm on that right hand side. So we got all new hoses on the blade here. They were all chafed back pretty good. He's got them color coded and identified with which one we put in the right hand remote so that the functions work correctly. And 7200 is in here. It needs new batteries, so we got to get a set of batteries for that. tomorrow. And this skid steer is the skid steer that's been in under the barns here. So they washed that when they got it done, and it's just kind of drip drying. They've got to do some final up stuff on it to get it cleaned up the rest of the way. They got to clean the radiator out and whatnot. So drop me a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't yet already. And we'll catch you at the next video. Thanks again for watching.